Welcome to another edition of Get Victory. I'm Ed Crenshaw, pastor of Victory Church, Philadelphia, and we're honored that you have joined us for this moment of encouragement. Hi, welcome to Get Victory. And I want to encourage you to expect the victory from God. Expect, as we shared this past Sunday, that God will keep every one of his promises to you. Now, I know right now there's a lot of fear. Let's just be honest, there's a lot of fear. And it's time for the Stockdale principle to kick in. You might have read the book Good to Great by Jim Collins several years ago. And he talks about one of the principles that makes something good into something great is the Stockdale principle, named after Admiral Stockdale, who was the highest ranking prisoner of war during the Vietnam War. And he had this real powerful way of assessing the situation and facing the honest facts, the harsh truth. And right now we're facing a harsh truth, but he did so with uncompromising optimism. And we have all the reason to be optimistic. Just because we recognize the challenges that we're facing right now, that does not mean that we should be pessimist or that we should be negative. We ought to be the most optimistic people in the world. So while we practice social distancing and all those kinds of things to keep ourselves safe and to keep others safe, and I think that's one thing that a lot of people are missing out on, that part of the reason that we're not meeting together as a church is not because we're afraid of getting sick, but because we want to keep vulnerable people safe. So it really calls for us to be on something of a war footing right now, does it not? And that means we have to conquer all fear. Fear can keep us from entering into the promises of God. Joshua and Caleb went into the promised land with 10 other spies, and they discovered a harsh reality that there really were walled cities and big people there, and that struck fear into 10 of the spies. But Joshua and Caleb said, we can take the land. Why did they believe they could take the land? Because God had promised that they could do so. And so the fear that the other people gave into was eradicated for Joshua and Caleb because they held on to the promise of God. They knew that he would be faithful. So I want to encourage us to make another declaration. I introduced those last week, and this is one of the 7, and that is, I declare victory over fear. And I'm reading this from that set of declarations that I received from a pastor friend in Washington, D.C. Here's our declaration. God, you have not given us a spirit of fear. Thank you for your love and for your compassion. Thank you that you are holding my heart in the midst of the storm. Help me to not operate in panic or reaction to fear that is so easy to embrace. When I hear bad reports, bring back to my remembrance your report. I would add your promises. I believe your report. I believe your promises, God. I am called to live and not die. Help me to stay grounded in the truth that you are protecting me. Thank you that you are giving me a full life to live and an appreciation for each day. God bless you. Don't be in fear. Expect God to come through. I trust this word has been a source of strength and comfort to you. During this trying time, our church is bringing you these words every day, Tuesday through Saturday. Also, you can join us online for our live stream services on Sundays at 9:15 and 11:15 a.m. You can find the links to all the online resources to stay connected as God's family at www.getvictory.net. Until next time, let's stay in God's presence and peace.